Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if they can pull it through. It is going to be time for the gates to open. Game 2 of the grand final, Method Black versus Wildcard Gaming. And I mean, when you look at it, Method Black, they've had a tough road to get here. They've played incredibly well to take down the newly formed AWC, who looked so good this week. But now they're up against the final boss, Wildcard Gaming. Beat them in upper, have had a cruise through to the grand finals this time around. They're defending champions from Cup 2, and they have brought out yet another composition with this Mage Elemental this week. They have been devastating the competition, running high versatility and also doing high levels of burst when they do manage to set it up. Method Black do have something up their sleeve though. They've got a bunch of compositions coming through here. Swapsy in the early stages taking a lot of damage. Not really able to get too much pressure out onto Maro, but I think Maro's going to have a tough game here. Turbo Cleave, notorious for what it can do to Shamans, but at the same time just a ton of damage! Doesn't use the human ratio. Maybe he'd already traded it out, but that was explosive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here on Championship Sunday, this would be a fitting final resting place, as Runes of Lordaeron is a cemetery. We see the Abomination dropped immediately to try and find one of the Rogue Mage stealth classes, but it doesn't find anyone, and they land the sap. They're playing the spites. They're going after the Windwalker Monk. How are they going to protect Monkarn? If he gets a Ride the Wind down, he can lower all those corruption stacks. He needs to get a Flying Serpent kick as soon as possible. He's fully stunned up. He's choosing not to trinket. Is this going to be the right choice? They drop the anti-magic zone in the Earthen Wall. They pop the Fortified Elixir and the Lingering Psychic Shell, and he's just holding on to dear life right now, hoping that damage reduction will be enough to survive. And it looks like it could be. Now having to Karma and Diffuse Magic. Very devastating start for Monkarn, and he's not going to have nearly the potential that he had in that last game to get things going, because at any point he could fall over.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, the disruption from Joel early on was quite nice. I mean, Monkarn, he had to trade a lot of his defensive cooldowns, but he still has Trinket. Burley, of course, still has a Spirit Link. He has Ascendance. There's quite a bit for them to work with. They just have to make sure they don't under-respond to the next attempt. They're probably going to have to use the Trinket early, try to get out of line of sight. Method Black looking to set up right now. Full kidney shot on Monkarn. Going to be taking a decent amount of damage. The Spike Trinkets drop out. Monkarn runs out of it. He's using Ride the Wind, so needs to make sure he's sitting in that Ride the Wind to avoid the corruption. But Raikou snipes him with a counterspell, blinks over, and just removes him from the game. Bergen boys immediately leave.
Fury Warrior, what?
I need to see what his gear is. I'm staring at this gear, this gear page, waiting for it to update.
This one's looking good. Let's get these gates open and see who's going to be able to take it.
Yeah, well, Sid takes a look at the gear. We're going to see, it looks like they're going to go for a setup here. They're playing Spites as well as the Frost Death Knight. So we talked a little bit about it yesterday, that we felt Frost Death Knight had a big edge in Cleave Mirrors. I still think that to be true, but they're just going after Sea-Doo's Stormbolt. Sea-Doo immediately trinkets and then has to portal away. Valito and Magnus playing very aggressive, and I think it's likely we see them just go after Sea-Doo consistently in this match, and without a trinket, he's going to be very scared.
Okay. Fury Warrior, it can be an interesting strategy. I was wondering if he was wearing two Devastation's Hour, where every 30 seconds he stacks up a buff and then he explodes. And then when you're about to hit 30 seconds, you jump over to the Mistweaver because it does more damage to a single target. You jump over to the Mistweaver and then you explode for huge damage. But he actually, it looks like he cleansed off that corruption. He's still wearing the same axe though, which is weird. A taste crit. It's kind of an it seems really odd, but he can get out of snares quite easily because he can dispel it with the Bloodthirst, and this could just be a really specialized Mistweaver killing strategy. At the moment, Magnus in trouble, stunned up, popping the Enraged regen, but he's currently stunned. He can't really heal too much with it. Regardless, Zach gonna drop the Life Cocoon. Magnus should easily make it out of the Spites now and survive. And this is definitely a kill Sea-Doo on that Mistweaver Monk composition. I'm curious to see if it works out.
Yeah, me too. I think Magnus has just had enough of Chains of Ice. So being the Fury Warrior, being able to free himself of the shackles of Mez in the match definitely is very good. Nice, and Sea-Doo, he's actually getting bursted down, completely destroyed. I did not expect that, but rudimentary Magnus with the Fury Warrior, that was a beautiful setup.
Here we go, Abster just going to be tested. Can the Golden Guardians find victory through diversity here, bringing in the Paladin? Gates have opened. I'm checking the builds here to see if we are correct about them dropping the Spike Trinket. It doesn't make sense to play it into the Paladin, but it looks like they still are. They're still running the Spites. Mez gets sapped early on. They try and find Peekaboo. He switches the sap over to Sea-Doo. He's in line of the whole team that could just open on Sea-Doo. They silence Mez. Looks like they're going to kidney shot out of the sap. Set up for a swap. Grip into double blind, though. How are they going to deal with the spites? Absterge is playing relentless. WizK breaks out with the trinket fade. Grips Absterge out of the spite. WizK going to use his tools, but Absterge gets double bounced back into the void puddle. Huge Ring of Peace play there by Method Orange, but not going to find too much damage off the back of it. Insane damage right now, though, by Golden Guardians. Method Orange going to pop the Way of the Crane while silenced to try and get some heals. Although Way of the Crane is very expensive, and he's actually punished. He's feared on it. Trill gets stunned up. Golden Guardians going after a different target, focusing down Trill a little bit more here.
Yeah, it looks like Trill will be taking a little bit of damage, but so far Sea-Doo has been able to heal through that pressure quite nicely. WizK getting interrupted, and I think it's going to be up to Mez and Trill to really slow down WizK with interrupts whenever possible in this matchup. We're about a minute in now, full blind on Sea-Doo. He immediately trinkets. He is not messing around, looking to get those heals onto Trill. Sea-Doo now into a kidney shot, as it looks like Peekaboo is looking to get that damage rolling, but they force out the anti-magic zone for the Vendetta of Peekaboo, so just really efficient trades. I mean, Sea-Doo trinkets the blind, Vendetta immediately responded to with the anti-magic zone, and Method Orange is kind of just, they're playing the script. They don't want to, make any mistakes or underreact to the situation, because if they do, I think that's when things really start snowballing for the Golden Guardians.
All right, Peekaboo trinkets out of that spite attempt, swaps over to Sea-Doo, Kidney into Hammer of Justice. WizK going to back up right at the end of this huge damage. Beautiful setup there by the Golden Guardians. This Paladin definitely paid its weight in gold, and you know what? They went full offense that game. There was not a single piece of versatility corruption on anybody.
So there's a good chance that they get to play this matchup twice today. The question is, will they be able to close it out here? Will they be able to set up that scenario for themselves? We find out right now.
All right, Joel is sapped. Are they spiting? They're playing spites this time around as Munkarn got Ride the Wind. He gets cheap shot. Did he get cheap shot on the Flying Serpent kick? I actually am very afraid for Joel right now.
Goodness.
Is he going to survive? That's so much corruption overload. He gets a double blinding sheep, but he's just dying through every single
nice
cooldown.
stun.
20% remaining health, holding on. Stun now on Burley. Death Strike after Death Strike. Waz is just out of nowhere going to explode. What happened in this game right now?
That was
I
nice.
was thinking Joel is dead 100% through everything.
And available to both of these teams as the gates do now open.
All right.
I'm a little worried for Sam. I feel like he can get caught in a Stormbolt and be bursted down really, really quickly. So who Rudimentary decides to go after in this matchup is going to be very curious. But it seems like Sam and Mez, they're just going after Zach. They don't care. They're just going to be training him down the best they can. And like I said, limiting Zach's mobility is going to be big. Sam getting bursted down. In the meantime, though, he's caught into 2 stuns. I think it was actually the Gladiator Safeguard that did proc there to keep Sam alive, realizing he might go down in a burst stun. He does live for that attempt, but yeah, Zach definitely has to be careful here.
The Heartstop Delirium is a great combo to kill a Mistweaver. You just inhibit their mobility so effectively. Already Zach dipping dangerously low. Double intimidating shot onto Mez and Sea-Doo. Magnus stalls out for Zach to recover with the Life Cocoon, but this composition is looking pretty threatening from Method Orange, or at least a lot more so than in game number 1, as we see Zach imprisoned, unable to heal. A swap back over onto Magnus, really hammering down on the Fury Warrior. Double blinding sheet into the Fell Eruption. Samayam gets stunned in return to try and stall damage once again. Zach rolling out into midfield, gets interrupted on his heel, but he pre-Vitality Conduit. He anticipates it, but his entire team is rotting down. Zach portals back out of line of sight. Sea-Doo moves in to try and bully him a bit with the wind shear. He gets paralyzed to stop the wind shear. The entire team is absolutely being devastated, but Samayam out of nowhere gets KO'd. I don't think Sea-Doo was seeing that coming. I don't think Method Orange saw Fury Warrior coming. I don't think anybody saw Fury Warrior coming.
World of Warcraft players of all time dash in every aspect of the game. Dash and on every spec. We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. Space Station game and looking to close this one out.
Okay, they're not. I don't think they're changing their build. They're just still wearing the same. Oh no! Dilly put. I don't know. Cyfoxy went full gushing. Did he go on every piece? I think he might have. On pretty much every piece. He's only missing one piece. So let's see what they can get done here. And I think attacking the Paladin has to be what they do. Paladin or Windwalker. There's no way you're killing Warlock before dampening, so see what they can get done. They're crowd controlling Thugonomics on his Dark Soul. They need to make sure they don't let any Chaos Bolts slip through during this time. Shadow Fury casted. They interrupt, but now Chaos Bolts are flying in. Cyfoxy's Survival Instincts. He runs for his life here. Tournament lives on the line, facing the barrel of Thugonomics' Chaos Bolts. And they're just turtling it out for a little bit, trying to stay in it. But what can they get done, Ben?
I mean, it's just so difficult. Early on, I mean, Thugonomics, he's already traded out his Trinket, Dark Soul, and Infernals. Now they can have a chance to breathe, a moment to breathe. The strategy from Turtle is good. You get Thugonomics to use his offensive cooldowns, you run, you hide, you wait for it, and now you can continue to play aggressive. But I just don't know if they're going to be able to take down Gorecki. If Thugonomics is just free casting, I just think this is such a rough matchup. Ooh, this could be big damage on Cyfox. He's in a bit of trouble. Does manage to escape relatively unscathed thanks to Gex and that pain suppression that keeps him alive. This is just such a dangerous game, but I mean, what do you do? Dilly, Cyfox, and Gex, they have to take risks. I really feel for them here, as it seems to be a completely unwinnable matchup. I mean...